Good morning, everybody. So today I'll be completing out the rest of the portions of your reagents. To start with, we will go with bridge reduction. We'll go with the bridge reduction. So what is bridge reduction? It was reported by an Australian chemist, Arthur Bridge, while working in Dyson Parents Laboratory at University of Oxford. So he discovered it. So bridge reduction is nothing but conversion of your aromatic compound having a benzoid ring. Aromatic compound containing a benzoid ring into a product that is 1,4-cyclohexadiene. So you convert an benzoid structure into a 1,4-cyclohexadienes. So three conjugated double bond is converted into double bond at 1 and at the 4th position. Okay, 1,4-cyclohexadiene in which two hydrogen atoms have been attached at the opposite ends of the molecule. As you see in the reaction mentioned below, your benzoid structure gets converted into a 1,4-cyclohexadiene. And what is this bridge reduction? Reduction is reduction of an aromatic ring, that's a benzoid ring, in presence of liquid ammonia and sodium, lithium or potassium, and also alcohol, mostly ethanol or tertiary butane, to give your corresponding 1,4-cyclohexadiene. So this is your basic reaction. So if in the exam, if it comes for 2 marks, this is enough. Along with this is enough. So what is bridge reduction? It is nothing but it's a reduction of your benzoid ring into a 1,4-cyclohexadiene in presence of liquid ammonia, sodium, potassium or lithium, any of the metals, or in presence of your alcohol. Okay, in presence of your alcohol like ethanol or tertiary butanol, to give your, this is known as your bridge reduction. So let's go for the mechanism. What is the basic mechanism? So what is the first step of the basic mechanism of your bridge reduction? There is a single electron transfer into an anti-bonding pi orbital of your aromatic system. So one of the electron goes into your anti-bonding orbital of your aromatic system. So this results in formation of an radical anion. So this leads to formation of an radical anion. So if you see, single electron gets transferred over here. So there is a shift of the bond. If you see the red color arrows, so shift of the bond. So one electron comes at the first position. So the bond, double bond between the first and the second moves to your second and the third, and the bond between third and the fourth moves to the fourth carbon to form an radical anion. So it forms a radical anion. Why it is called radical anion? If you see, the first carbon contains an single electron, whereas the fourth carbon contains 2 electrons. So that's why it is called a radical. Radical means single electron. Anion means it contains 2 electrons. That's why it's called an anion. So it gets transformed into a radical anion. So what is the next step? The radical cation which is formed gets protonated by your alcohol. Gets protonated by your alcohol. So it gets protonated by your alcohol, that is ethanol, yielding an cyclohexadiene radical. So if you see the next step, here once the proton gets added in the blue, so you get an only radical, and so you get an cyclohexadiene radical. So this is your next step. So what happens next once this cyclohexadiene radical is formed? Again it receives an electron from the system. Okay, it receives an to form a cyclohexadiene anion. So it gets converted to a cyclohexadiene anion. Okay, and subsequently this cyclohexadiene anion is protonated by ethanol. Similarly, again the alcohol or the ethanol will give the proton to form the a more stable 1,4 cyclohexadiene and not the thermodynamically stable 1,3 cyclohexadiene. Usually, if you give, it should form a conjugated, but this is not a conjugated. You don't get a conjugated cyclohexadiene 1,3 cycle. You get an separate, isolated 1,4 cyclohexadiene. So this is the product that is different. Usually, if you see, you should give a 1,3 cyclohexadiene as per the conjugation, so that it is resonance step. But in case of bridge reduction, you get 1,4 cyclohexadiene, which is different from your normal reaction. Okay. So this is the product that you get. So what is the first step? First step is your transfer of single electron. So when there is a transfer of electron, there is a resonance transfer of electron around the benzene ring, and you get an cyclohexadiene radical, anionic radical. Okay. The next is your protonation of your anion. Cyclohexyl radical anion gets protonated by your ethanol. Again, leads to a formation of your cyclohexadiene anion. Again, there is an single electron electron transfer to give you a formation of your cyclohexadiene anion. Next is your again protonation by your alcohol. To this leads to a formation of your 1,4 cyclohexadiene. Okay, instead of normal 1,3 cyclohexadiene, which is stabilized due to conjugation. You get a 1,4 cyclohexadiene, which is as compared to that type of thermodynamically stable, as you have studied in 1,4 in 1,3 in conjugated dienes. So you get instead of your 1,3 cyclohexadiene, you get a 1,4 cyclohexadiene in case of your bridge reduction. So this is a basic mechanism of your bridge reduction. Now let us see some of the criteria. So what happens? So the substitution depends, the formation of the double bond depends upon the substitutions that are present. 1,4 double bonds depend upon the substitution. So if there were an electron donating group, what happens? If there is an electron donating group, single electron gets transferred, the negative charge comes on the carbonyl groups. Okay. So this negative charge can be stabilized by your carboxylic acid because their electron withdrawing group, they can stabilize your intermediate because of the electron withdrawing. So in case of electron withdrawing group like carboxylic amide, for instance, the the substitution are situated on the sp3 hybridized carbon. So you always remember, in case of a electron withdrawing group, the substitutions are placed on the sp3 hybridized orbital, okay, of sp3 hybridized carbon. If you see in the particular structure, okay. Now, if there is an electron donating group, you can see another methoxy. So methoxy is an electron donating group. What happens? Like alkoxy, methoxy are located on one of the carbon which contains a double bond. So when there is an electron donating group, the substitution is present on one of the double bond. Why? If you see, when the negative charge is there, if the negative charge is there on your, as you've seen in your carboxylic acid, instead if the methoxy is there, the methoxy is an electron donating group. So this will destabilize your resonance structure as well as your intermediate. That's the only reason that the double bond, in case of methoxy substitution, the reaction, the substitution will be present on the one of the double bond. So this is the difference between your electron donating substitution. So in case of electron donating substitution, the substitution will be present on the double bond. Whereas in case of electron withdrawing group, the substitution will be present on your sp3 hybridized carbon. So this is the difference between those two. Why? The reason is the negative charge can be stabilized by the positive electron withdrawing group, whereas if the electron donating is present, it will destabilize. So that's the reason why there is a change in your position of your substitution according to the reaction. Okay. So these are the condition, bridge conditions, which has to be remembered. Next reaction is Beckmann. It is BECKM, Beckmann's rearrangement. Okay. It is named after the German and Ernst Otto Beckmann. So it is nothing but an acid catalyzed conversion of an ketoxan into an N-substituted amide. So what is Beckmann's rearrangement? It is an acid catalyzed. So reaction takes place in acidic condition, that leads to conversion of your ketoxam into your N-substitution amide. So from your oxime you get an N-substituted amide. So from an oxime you get an amide. So remember, Beckmann's reaction is nothing but your conversion of your oxime into your substituted amide. Very important to be remembered, mostly frequently asked in the exam for 5 marks, even this, and even in the competitive exams. This particular reaction is asked. Okay. So what are oximes? The first thing that you have to know are what are oximes. So what are oximes? So it is nothing but C double bond NOH linkage. C double bond NOH linkage is known as your oxime. This is formed when an aldehyde or a ketone reacts with your hydroxylamine in presence of an acid. You get your aldoxime or a ketoxime. Depending if the ketone reacts with an hydroxylamine, it will give you ketoxime, and if an aldehyde reacts with your hydroxylamine, you get an aldoxime. So these are the two forms of your oximes which are present according to the substitution, starting with whether it's an aldehyde or a ketone. Okay. So now let's go for the mechanism. So your oxime is formed. So what happens, like you do the reaction in an acidic condition. So acidic, let us take an example of H2SO. So what is the first step? Your OH in your oxime gets protonated. The OH which is attached to your, oxime and gets protonated. Next step is your ionization and migration of your anti-group with respect to your leaving group, that is your OH, the water which is left. So always there is an ionization. Okay. So, and along with this, there is a migration of a group which is anti to your leaving group. So what is the leaving group in this? Water is the leaving group. So when water is left from the oxime, so there is a transfer of your R dash group. If you see in the red, the R dash group, which is trans to your anti to your OH group, gets migrated to your nitrogen to gets migrated to your nitrogen. So this is your second step, which is a rate limiting step, which is your rate limiting step. So what happens? And once this carbonium ion is formed, they get attacked by your water. So if you see, these two can be in, tautomeric form. That is, there will be a resonance. The positive charge can be on a carbon as well as your nitrogen, because the lone pair of electron in nitrogen can be donated to the carbon and it gets, so there is an equilibrium between the two resonance form. So what is the next step? So then there is a nucleophilic attack of your water on your carbonium ion. So there is water attacks your positively charged, okay. Then there is water attacks, and then there is a transfer of hydrogen from your OH to your NH. Okay. So there is a loss of H plus, and this will lead to a formation of an imine in imanol. So, and then it undergoes your, it will come a hydroxyl oximes. This is followed by the NO bond similarly cleaved, and with the expulsion of water, formation of your free 1980s. So next step is your water OH will be transferred. The water which is attached to your carbonium ion, they will rearrange to give your corresponding amide. So this is how your amide is formed. So, so what is the first thing? First thing is your protonation, then followed by transmigration, then attack of OH. So there is one mistake over here. There should not be an H plus, extra H plus. Okay. So OH plus attacks. Then there is a loss of proton, OH. There is a loss of proton. Then it gives you OH plus, and there is an keto enol transfer. The H from your carbonyl H from your OH gets transferred to your nitrogen. So if you see, there is an enol transformation. There is an enol tautomerism that occurs. This leads to your formation of your substituted amide. So these are the three steps involved in your conversion of your oxime to your amide, substituted amide, using your Beckmann's rearrangement conditions. Okay. So stereochemistry, if you see, as I explained, only your transmigration occurs. The group which is trans to your leaving group, that is OH, will only migrate. The group which is trans to your OH group is, and it is an intramolecular. So it happens within the molecule, not intermolecular. The reaction is an intramolecular reaction. So if you try to take two different oxime, you get only the intramolecular substituted product, not, there will be no intermolecular reaction. The reaction is on intramolecular. That means the substitution, rearrangement takes place within the molecule. In high polar solvent, the rate of reaction is faster, and rate of reaction also increases as stability of the leaving group increases. So any group which is a very good leaving group, which any solvent which stabilizes the leaving group, will increase the rate of the reaction. So the reaction takes place best in your polar solvent. So the reaction takes best in your polar solvents. Now let's go for the next fact. So it was found that the migratory group is always anti to your, the migratory group is always anti to your leaving group. So if you see in the following example, if you see in the, so it is a stereo specific type of reaction. So you get a OH. So, and if you take it in NaOH, so the first step, if there is a syn substitution, so it will give you an benzoisoxazole derivative. But the same reaction, if you try to do it in an trans form, so the reaction will not occur. So this also can be used for determination of your syn and cis and trans. So this example can also be used for determining the configuration, that is cis or trans. So you can give this example when you are writing the chemical methods for determination of whether the compound is cis or trans. Okay. So in case of cis, you get an isoxazole derivative, benzoisoxazole derivative, whereas in case of trans, there is no reaction. There is no reaction. And moreover, the Beckmann reaction, that it takes place in your direct exchange of your leaving group and do not take place between nitrogen and sulfur. This was explained by your using your isotope, that is your isotopic medium. You try to see that you try to do it in an isotope. You found that there is a direct exchange of the leaving group between the leaving group and the migratory group. So application. So these are used to preparation of various analytes. So it is used for preparation of your various anylides. Moreover, it is also used for the preparation of isoquinoline. It is also used for the preparation of various isoquinoline. Okay, in acidic medium, if you see OH, then there is a aryl 1 to aryl shift, and you get 1 to shift migration, and you get an isoquinoline. You get your acid. This is the. Moreover, it is also used for the preparation of caprolactam. It is used for the preparation of caprolactam, which is used in your nylon industry, and also used for ring enlargement reaction. It is also used for ring enlargement reaction. This is not OH, this is H. Okay, amide is formed. Okay, H is formed. There is some mistakes in the slides. Please to correct it. Okay, this is also used for synthesis of nylon 6, which is a textile polymer, So it can be used for ring enlargement reaction, for preparation of caprolactam, for preparation of what the thing that you see over here, it should be H instead of OH, and this is known as caprolactam, and this is used when you treat it, when you heat it with base, you get your nylon 6 polymer, which is a textile polymer used in your textile industry. So now comes your Claisen-Smith reaction. So Claisen-Smith reaction, we have studied it in our practicals last semester. Okay, it's a reaction between a ketone and a carbonyl compound lacking hydrogen atom. It's a reaction between a ketone and a carbonyl compound lacking alpha hydrogen atom, and it's an example of crossed aldol condition. It is known as your Claisen-Smith condensation. So what is the reaction? So you have an ketone, you react with an aldehyde which does not contain an alpha hydrogen. So basically you take an aromatic aldehyde and treat it with an ketone. So you get your product, crossed aldol products. So what is the basic thing? You take benzaldehyde, you react with acetone in basic condition, and you get your 1-phenyl butene tone, that is benzyl lactone, and this you further react, you get 1 benzyl acetophenol. Okay, this is what the reaction that you get. Okay, you get a dibenzyl acetone. This is the reaction. So now let's go for the mechanism of action. So mechanism of action is similar to that of your aldol condenser. What is aldol condenser? Your base which is present, it will remove the proton from your alpha carbon to give you a carbanion. First step is generation of your carbanion, then your tautomerism of your negative charge, that is resonance stabilization of your negative. The next step is your nucleophilic attack of your carbanion on the carbonyl carbon of your benzaldehyde. Next step is your nucleophilic attack of your carbanion on the carbonyl carbon of your benzaldehyde to give your O minus, which gets protonated. You get an beta hydroxy ketone. You get a beta hydroxy ketone. So you get a beta. Now this, so you got an active methylene group in the next to it. So that the base abstract the proton from your methylene group, which is next to your carbonyl group, and there is a formation of a double bond. So this leads to your formation, it gives you the product. This gives you the desired one, that is alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. Alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. So this is your mechanism of action of your Claisen-Smith reaction. This is a mechanism of action of your Claisen-Smith reaction. This is the same way. Alkoxide formation gets protonated. Then again the base abstract the proton, which is alpha to your carbonyl group. It leads your loss of water, OH minus, and you get an unsaturated carbonyl group. Okay, this Claisen-Smith reaction is used for the preparation of pseudo-indo. That it is used in basically in various preparation of synthesis of vitamin A. Claisen-Smith is used for commercial preparation of your vitamin A by treatment reaction between geraniol and your acetone. If you see the geraniol and acetone, it is used for the preparation of your vitamin A. Further long chain synthesis takes place and you get your corresponding vitamin A. So see this, just remember the structure. Just remember the structure. It is an aromatic, it is an aldehyde which does not contain an alpha hydrogen. So that you treat it with acetone, you get your product, which is used for the synthesis of your vitamin A. Some of the other example is benzaldehyde is treated with acetophenone. You get a benzylidyl acetophenone. That is a chalcone. That is also used for the preparation of your chalcone. You can prepare dibenzyl acetone, which was one of the synthesis in your previous semester. So this is your applications of your. This is the application of Claisen-Smith reaction. Next is the last reagent that is in your syllabus is your Smith reaction. That's your Smith reaction. So the last reaction in your syllabus is your Smith reaction. So what is the Smith reaction? Smith reaction involves the reaction of your carboxylic acid with hydroxylic acid, that is HN3, in presence of a sulfuric acid to form amine. So this is nothing but a mechanism where you can convert an acid to an amine by using hydroxylic acid in an acidic medium. Very important. Okay, in an acidic medium to give you a corresponding, amines. So it is an acid catalyzed reaction. Even a Lewis acid can be used, like aluminum chloride, ferric chloride, and all can be used. So what is the first thing? In this case, azide acts as a nucleophile at the terminal carbon and may add to a suitably activated electrophile. So what is the electrophile? You generate an electrophile in your acid, and then the azide, in which one of the terminal carbon acts as a nucleophile. One of the terminal nitrogen of your azide acts as a nucleophile. Okay, upon addition, so they get added. Upon addition, the newly formed bound nitrogen atom becomes electron deficient and is subject to 1-2 migration. So once your azide gets added to the electrophile, this azide molecule becomes electron deficient. This azide molecule, after addition, it becomes electron deficient. This nitrogen atoms becomes electron deficient. Okay, and this leads to your 1-2 migration of your carbon or hydrogen substituent with the loss of molecule of a nitrogen, with a loss of nitrogen atom. Okay, with the loss of nitrogen atom, with the loss of nitrogen atom. Okay, this is the mechanism of action of your Smith reaction. Now let's go into detail. Let's see the mechanistic approach of this. So what is the first step? As you said, generation of an electrophile, so that your azides can attack. So what is the first step? Formation of your acylamine, that is an electrophile. So how it will be formed? First thing is your carboxylic acid gets protonated in your acidic medium. There is a loss of water to form an acylamine. Okay. Now this acylamine, so as it was explained, one of the nitrogen acts as an nucleophile. So one of the terminal nitrogen attacks your acylamine to give your azidoketone to give your, so this reacts with hydroxylic acid SLMN to give your as protonated azidoketone. Okay, if you see the structure too, it is nothing but your azidoketone moiety. Okay, the alkyl groups. This is followed by, so once this azidoketone is then the alkyl or the hydrogen which is present substituted on the ring to the carbon. Okay, there is an migration of the alkyl groups from the carbon to the nitrogen. So there is, once this azidoketone, it undergoes 1,2 aryl shift, that is alkyl group from your carbon migrates to your nitrogen atom by rearrangement, and in doing so there is a loss of nitrogen, N2. There is a loss of nitrogen in nitrogen to form a protonated isocyanate ion. So you get an isocyanate. Why it is called isocyanate? C double bond O N. C double bond O N double bond. So this is an isocyanate, protonated isocyanate ion. So next step is attack of your water. Your isocyanate, protonated isocyanate gets attacked by your water moiety to form an protonated, to form a carbamate. Okay, to form a protonated carbamate. Okay, and the next step is loss of your H proton from your carbamate. Okay, in doing so there is a loss of carbon dioxide and your amine is liberated. So there is a loss of carbon dioxide, it undergoes deprotonation. This leads to a loss of your carbon dioxide and to form the amine. So these are the steps involved in your Smith reaction. First step is your protonation of your acid to form an acyl ion. This reacts with hydroxylic acid where the terminal nitrogen attacks on the acyl ion. This is followed by to form an azidoketone. Why it is called azidoketone? Ketone which is attached to your azide, that is N3. It gives you protonated azidoketone. So after this, there is an 1,2 migration. Alkyl group migrates from your carbon to your nitrogen with a loss of nitrogen. This leads to a formation of your protonated isocyanate. And this protonated isocyanate will react with water to form a protonated carbamate, to form a carbon. And the last step is loss of proton, deprotonation occurs with the loss of carbon dioxide and you get your normal. So this is the mechanism of Smith reaction. This is the mechanism of Smith reaction. Okay. So this completes your portion for your